Right, excited to get back playing again. Obviously, Green Bay is a very good football team, well coached. We're going to need our fans nice and loud, and we're excited to go play. Questions?
Nobody on the injury report?
Oh, Bob. Bob screwed up.
Out Davis, questionable Breland.
Short list. How did the week with Anthony Barr go, coming back from his absence?
Good, yeah.
Is that going to be something he just manages throughout the year, you think?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mike, what was this week like when you have a few guys out for on Wednesday, Thursday? It sounds like false positives. What's that process like of just trying to figure out when you're going to be able to get this back?
Yeah, well, I mean, you get the test, and those guys have to leave the building. You try to get them on virtually with the meetings and stuff like that, but they can't be here. And then you got to wait till you hear back from whether it was a false positive or positive.
When you're going through that, it's
Yeah, there was a lot of, all right, so if this guy can't play, then, who do we play here? How do we do that? We got to throw this out because he's not doing that. There's a lot of things like that.
Did you figure out with it's like a small batch like that? Was there like some kind of lab mix-up, or like how do you get 4 of them like that?
Yeah, I don't know. I heard that the Giants at one time had like 25 one day, a long time ago. So, I don't know the reason. They cleaned the testing place real good that night, make sure.
Your thoughts on having Kenny Willekes back just from a depth standpoint at defensive end?
Yeah, well, we'll see if he can play this week. We don't know yet.
Mike, what do you like about how your red zone offense has performed this season?
That's a good question. I think, in every situation, if you can run the ball in, it makes it difficult for the defenses. So we have not been as good inside the 5-yard line. So, that's been a big emphasis for us this week, really on both sides of the ball.
I think the Packers defense ranked 29th in red zone defense. Do you feel like that's an area you need to probably take advantage of if you want to win?
Well, I hope so, but I don't care how we score the points as long as we score them.
Mike, how do you balance on a weekly basis doing the things that your players are familiar with on defense versus adding new things to the mix?
Yeah, I mean, some weeks you don't really add much. You just make little tweaks here and there. Some weeks you add a little bit more. I kind of have a rule of how many that we'll put in every week, just so that the players can handle it. This week maybe a little more. It really depends on the offense that you're playing, what they're doing, and, how you think you can affect them.
Do you feel you'll activate Patrick Peterson off for the game?
I don't know. We'll see. He had a good week.
I think Rodgers had talked about how every time he plays you guys, you always have just a bunch of variety thrown at him. When you say maybe more this week, is it because you're going up against a guy like that who's just seen so much?
Yeah, I mean, he sees everything. I mean, the guy's unbelievable how quick he can read and check the different things. And then he's obviously got the ability to get the ball wherever he wants to get it. Plus, he still runs good. And, so all those things combined with him being able to read, you have to do a really good job of trying to fool him. And you don't do it, hardly ever fool him. You might get some things in there, but he's sharp.
The last time he was in here, obviously there's no fans and he's hard counting you guys. How much of a difference does that make when he does have to contend with the noise?
Well, he's got a terrific hard count. He's maybe the best in the league at doing that. But on the road when they use their silent cadence, he'll lift his leg, the center lift his head up real fast and stick his butt down. Does it like 2 or 3 times. Yeah. The offensive line will go like this. They've got all kinds of movement with their offensive line and center, and so we'll talk to the officials before the game and see if they think it's what I think.
How do you study for that with players?
Every week, you study the mannerisms, the cadence, there's some other ways too that we use.
hear about back shoulder throws and quarterbacks that can make them, but what makes receivers able to thrive on those?
Typically, if the DB's on, if they know where the DB is, the DB's on top, and, usually the DB's like this and the receiver's running like this. He sees the ball quicker than the defender does.
You made any decision on your starting center for Sunday's game?
I believe so, yeah.
Would you care to reveal it?
No. Good.
Go ahead. People just on the surface see the size of Dylan, and it probably reminds them a little bit of Lacey from a few years back. Is there a comparable there, or is he doing different things?
I think they're different backs. I mean, this guy's a very physical runner. I would say different than Lacey, but he does a great job of when he's hit. He always seems to get positive yards.